Hello, it is late. It is past midnight. It's soon 12:30. Also, yes, I have some memes on the wall that I hung up to try and motivate me to do schoolwork. I don't know if it worked, but I do enjoy seeing them, so I hope you enjoy them too. But anyway, it's late. I just wanted to film this super duper quick. So I had a thought. Can't remember quite where it originated from, but it was basically that I haven't really considered how my mental health issues will affect me in the future. Or that might sound kind of odd. I don't know if I phrased that correctly, but I'll just exemplify it, I suppose. I'll give you the context. So, from when I was 13 till I was about 16-ish, maybe, I was very suicidal. I turned 18 this year, in September. Since around when I turned 16, maybe a bit later, but yeah, beginning of my 16th year. Since then, things have gotten better. I've still had like periods of time that have been worse than usual, but it hasn't been like consecutive. Does that make sense? Well, before then, for 3 consecutive years, I was very suicidal, and I was just in a horrible place mentally and emotionally, and just I was certain that I was going to die. And at that point, I didn't consider how that would affect me in the future. And I'm just thinking about it now, and I'm like, wow, I went through some like pretty difficult stuff in some very important formative years, and that's going to affect me for the rest of my life. That's going to affect the kind of person I become after that, because that's kind of the place where I'll grow from. And that's really odd. That it's always going to affect me, and it has undoubtedly. English is not my first language, excuse me, but it has had an effect on me, and it will continue having that. Again, like regarding the person I become and stuff, because I guess you are your experiences, so you are how you deal with your experiences. I don't know, but they affect you nonetheless. But at the same time, although they will affect me, I thought that it's quite odd, because at the same time they'll kind of disappear in the distance. Or they won't disappear, but they'll wash out, they'll become foggy. As I grow older, as I get older, as time goes by, when I'm 20, when I'm 30, when I'm 40, when I'm 50, etc., that's going to be a distant memory, those years. And I'm going to be so much more than that. And that is really odd. That there's something past those years, and that my future, that there is a future that isn't necessarily directly related to that it will just kind of vanish or become faded in the background. And again, that's not anything that I ever considered would happen, because when I was going through that, I was so certain I was going to die very young. And when I say certain, I mean like it was definitely going to happen. There was no doubt in my mind that I was going to die young. That's just the way it was. I accepted it fully. I welcomed it. it was just not even a thought that ever popped up that was like, oh, I wonder what I'll be when I'm 20. I wonder what I'll be like at 20, because I just knew I wasn't going to turn 20 or 17, for that sake, or 16. I just never considered that. I never saw it as a possibility. I fully and wholly accepted I was going to die young, because that's what I wanted, and I had made up my mind. Turns out things don't always go as planned, which is a good thing in a lot of cases, not all, but I'd like to see, or try to see, the positive in it anyway. But when I was at that age, I thought me then, at that point, was all I was ever going to be. I thought that was all I was ever going to become. I had reached that point, and I would stop at that point. I would stop when I was 14, 15, 16. And that's the me that I knew, and that's the me that felt safe, and that's the me who I thought I'd always be. Well, not always, because it wouldn't last very long, but like it, I thought that was the final stage, or the final version of me. And I'm sorry if this sounds depressing, but to me it's not really depressing. It's sad that I went through that, but it's good. Like, not that, but what comes after is good. And I'm used to it. Like, it was my reality. It's not really that sad to say, because it's just how things were. It would be sadder for, say, my mom if she ever watched this, but hopefully she won't. I don't think she will. I don't think she pays attention to what I post on the internet, but she knows what's going on, but not that detailed. But right, I thought that was the final version of me. And now I'm in this place where, even just in the year and a half ish since the worst period ended, since then, again, I struggle with certain things. There's always things, and there's things that are still left that haven't really been worked through properly, but I'm in therapy, so it's all good. So yeah, some days are worse than others. It's life. But despite that, I have grown so much. I've grown so much. I am a completely different person than I was in, say, 2016. And it's odd to me, because I never saw this as a possibility. I never saw this coming, which I guess it's rare that you can't really see yourself coming. Not like that. Stop. Dirty-minded pigs. No, but, oh God, I need to stop. But, hope that lightened the mood, but, God, that threw me off. Sorry, I say weird things when I'm tired, but, how was I? Right, you can never really foresee how you're gonna be, what you're gonna be like in, say, 5 years' time, but, a lot of people kind of imagine it like, oh, when I'm 18, I'm gonna start driving, or when he's 16, if you live in the USA, or at one point, I'm gonna get married, or I'm gonna finish school, or I'm gonna go to uni, something. Never imagined that in my life after I turned like 13. Before that, I was like, oh yeah, I'll turn 20. But for 3 years or so, I kind of just, I got so used to the thought that, yeah, I'll never make it further. This is the final stage, this is the final point, which I completely accepted, and that was the final version of me. And now I'm just repeating myself at this point, but like, it's just so odd to me that I feel the need to repeat it, to kind of fully get it into my mind, that only in the year and a half since then, ish, I've changed so much, and how things are looking out right now, I'll continue changing, and I'll continue growing, and it's just, it's so weird that I know this version of me, because looking back, that was just a completely different person, and I thought that was it for me. But it wasn't. And it's just, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like, I never thought that I'd see any other version of myself. But yet, here I am. But I accept that at that point that my life wouldn't go on for any longer, but still it does. And this is all quite unfamiliar, because again, that's a version of me that I knew for so long, and that's the version of me that I thought I'd only know, and then it's like, hi, surprise, there's this other there's this other version of you. You're gonna continue growing, and so it's very unfamiliar and kind of scary at times to not be who I was, but at the same time, it's quite familiar as well, and I think that's because I quite like who I'm turning into. I have some values that I think are really good, that I like about myself. I like how I value kindness and certain things, which is another thing. I never thought I'd get to a point where I wouldn't completely hate myself inside and out. So although it's unfamiliar to actually go past that point where I was so certain I would stop, it also feels safe because I like it. So, yeah, I guess that's really what I wanted to say, to kind of tell you or let you know that even when you have made up your mind, things change. No, but I just wanted to share it because I thought it was a really interesting and really nice thought. Although this maybe didn't, it originates from a not so very nice place. I think that at the end of the day, literally, it's the end of the day right now where I am. It's a good thing, and I think that also is why I've noticed recently that I think that everything is so magical. Like, it's really weird to describe, but like, I was sitting on the train yesterday, which is quite a fairly mundane thing to do, like, be on the train, but I interacted with a nice person asking for directions. I was on the train, as I said, which I like train rides. I looked out the window at the sky. I listened to some Mozart. And I just felt like I needed to observe everything, and that everything was so magical, and just, like, again, mundane thing, like simply teachers being kind to me, or people in general saying hi to me, or even just calling me my name as a way to kind of say, hey, I see you specifically, I acknowledge that you're there. I just feel like I've come to a place where for a very long time I wanted to end it all. I didn't really care about all this, you know, and now it's like I've kind of woken up from a slumber, and I'm just observing everything, and it's like, this sounds kind of cheesy and maybe kind of lame, but it's like yeah, it's like I've been asleep for a really long time, or like everything's been very foggy and unclear, or that I've missed out on so much. There's so much that I haven't observed, and then I wake up, and now that I'm here, it's like looking around, being like, "Oh wow, look at that," and that's also a weird experience because that's not anything I'm doing deliberately. It just kind of happens. And I'm much more aware of little things that make me happy. Right now, what my mum describes as an annoyingly positive person, and I quite like that. I mean, not annoying my mum, but I want to be happy. Like, I feel like my brain has. It's so tired of being sad and angry and upset, and I know it's not like, oh well, you're sad. Well, but you're tired of being sad, so just be happy. It's not like that, but I feel like it's just my brain decided, okay, we're done. We're done with being sad. We're gonna try our very best to be happy now. And I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. I still, I still have some things. Like um, as I said, I'm in therapy. I'm diagnosed with um, a form of depression, and some other stuff going on. But like a friend of mine told me once, she saw herself as a happy person, like a fundamentally happy, positive person who loves life with mental health issues. And I think that describes me. I People as well. The first time I talked to my therapist, she was like, "Really, you seem like such a life-loving person. You just seem so joyful." And I'm like, I love that I come off like that. That's another thing I like about myself. If I come off as positive, that makes me so happy, because the last thing I'd want is to make other people sad. And if I make other people happy, that makes me even happier. So it's like, it's great. Again, I definitely go through difficult times now. I'm doing fairly good right now, but like I go through times where, yeah, like there may be some suicidal stuff, but I don't take it very seriously because it doesn't happen as much anymore. And usually, I get help. Like, there's always help. I have my therapist, I have my school counselor, my school psychologist, I have a lot of lovely teachers. I have access to therapy, as I said. I have access to medication if I wanna try that out. I just feel positive. Like, I feel like there will be a solution, which is why, at the moment when I am in a sad or in a really bad place, I may feel even now that life is pointless, but I usually get back to that place of being able to distract myself from those things, or get treatment or something like that. And so, I don't know, I just want to be happy, and I'm turning into a happier person, which, at least, yeah, for the most part, I am. And I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I like that. I like who I'm becoming. I'm a bit weird, but I've always been weird, so that's fine. As long as I'm positive, I like myself. That's what I wanted to talk about now. It'll be exciting to see how I turn out in the future when I'm old. I'm looking forward to being old. I feel like the only person in the world that does that, like being a 60-year-old man. If there's any 60-year-olds watching, I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying you're older than me right now. I'm 17. So yeah, tiny bit younger than you. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that, because I've always thought of that age as, I've related it to contentedness and peacefulness, and that's what I want to be. I just want to be content and peaceful and happy and a sweet old man cute little old man. That's my goal in life. But yeah, okay, that's all. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to bed now. Really appreciate that people watch my videos and care what I have to say, or care to hear about what I have to say, and talk to me in the comments and stuff. That really always makes me so happy. The comments is the most important part for me of any kind of online stuff. I like the interactions. Not to be like, oh, I'm so great because I don't pay attention to numbers, but I couldn't care less about the number of views, because even if I got like 1 million views, if I got no comments, that's not what's important. I just like the interaction, because it gives me so much to talk to you. So I really appreciate that you take time out of your day to write me a comment or a message. And I know I don't always get back to you, but I read a lot of it, and then I'm like, oh, I need to get back to this and this and this and this later, and then I kind of forget. But I read most of it, and so thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. I'll go now. This video is really long. I hope you were able to hear me, although I talked fairly quietly. My parents are asleep, so I'm trying not to wake them up. It's soon 1 a.m. But yeah, so thank you for watching and for listening. Stay safe and eat, drink, and do not hurt yourselves. And remember that you are so much more than you can ever realize. Seriously. Hope you had a great week and that you're enjoying your weekend, and I'll see you again soon. I'm actually planning on a video that I think you'd enjoy. I think it could be funny. I'm not saying what it is, just in case I end up not having time to make it, but it sounds funny, so I'll try. Okay, that's all. Bye. Enjoy your evening or day or morning, whatever time it is, where you are. I'll sleep now. I'll enjoy my sleep. Thank you very much. Bye.